Hello everyone. Topic of today's discussion is maxillary first premolar. So we'll be covering the topic under the following headings. Starting with the introduction, when we talk about premolars, they are 4 in number, 2 in each quadrant, 4 in each arch. So total we have 8 premolars. They are posterior to canine and they are immediately anterior to molars. Premolars are also known as bicuspids because they have two cusps. One is buccal cusp, another is the lingual cusp. And they are also known as premolar because they are anterior to molars in the permanent dentition. Also, they are the teeth that succeed the deciduous molars. So they are before deciduous molars. But these premolars do not have any deciduous counterparts. So we do not have any premolars in primary dentition. These maxillary premolars also develop from the same number of lobes as that of anterior, that is 4. The 3 buccal lobes give rise to the buccal cusp, and the well-formed lingual cusp is developed from the lingual lobe, which in the anterior teeth is represented by cingulum. So, like in incisors and canines, we have cingulum. In premolars, we have well-developed lingual cusp. That is why they are also known as bicuspids. So when we talk about its nomenclature, they are the 4 tooth from the midline. So in the universal notation system, it is 5 and 12. In Zsigmondy-Palmer, it is right of 4 and left of 4. And in the FDI system, it is denoted as 1, 4 and 2, 4. This is the best way to represent the nomenclature. You can always use this format in whenever exams make the morphology and the nomenclature is being asked. When we talk about the chronology, the first evidence of calcification is 1.5 to 3/4 years. The crown completion takes place between 5 to 6 years. The eruption of premolar takes place between 10 to 11 years and the root completion 12 to 13 years. Talking about its dimension, in the cervico-occlusal length, they are smaller than the canines and they are larger than the molars. So the cervico-occlusal length is 8.5. The length of the root is 14. Mesodistally, they are less wider in comparison to the molars, and in labiolingual dimensions, they are wider. So premolars are wider labiolingually in comparison to their mesodistal width. Now, starting with the identifying features for premolars, they have greater faciolingual measurements in comparison to the anterior teeth and less mesodistal measurement in comparison to the posterior teeth. When we talk about the contact areas, the premolars have a broader contact areas, and the contact areas are more or less at the same level for both the sides. When we talk about the cervical curvature, there is less cervical curvature mesially and distally, and the crown is cervico-occlusally shorter in comparison to the anterior teeth. Talking about the number of surfaces, it has 4 surfaces and 1 occlusal aspect. The 4 surfaces are buccal, lingual, mesial and distal, and mostly it has 2 roots. One buccal, another is palatal. Now coming on to the buccal aspect, when we see the geometric outline, it is roughly trapezoidal in shape. The shorter side is seen on this cervical area and the longer side occlusally. When we see the occlusal outline, there are 2 slopes. One is the mesial slope, another is the distal slope. Mesial slope is larger. And when we talk about the outline mesially and distally, mesial outline is slightly concave in the cervical area, followed by convexity in the contact region. However, the distal outline is either straight or it can be slightly concave. And the contact points are more occlusally on the distal sides. When we talk about the surface anatomy, on the buccal aspect, we can appreciate 2 elevations. The first is the buccal ridge, that is because of the overdeveloped mid-buccal lobe. And the second is the cervical ridge prominence. Also, there are 2 developmental grooves which can be seen both sides of the buccal ridge, that is the mesial developmental groove and the buccal developmental groove. These are the developmental grooves seen on the buccal aspect. So on the buccal aspect, we can appreciate 2 elevations, that is the cervical ridge and the buccal ridge, and 2 developmental grooves, one is mesial, one is distal. When we see the root, the buccal root is similar to that of canine, but it is shorter in length. So the root length is more in cases of canines, it is less in cases of premolars. Now coming on to the lingual aspect, the lingual anatomy is very much similar to that of the buccal aspect, but it shows a lingual convergence because the lingual cusp is shorter. So all the side, that is the mesial side, distal side, and the buccal cusp can be appreciated from the lingual view. Also, the crown shows somewhat rounded protuberances because it is more smooth and more rounded in comparison to the buccal aspect. And when we see the slopes, the mesial and the distal slopes of the lingual cusp meet each other at a perpendicular angle, that is 90 degrees. When we see the cervical line lingually, it is slightly convex. Sometimes it is also straight. Now starting with the proximal aspects, when we see the crowns and the root from the mesial aspect, lingual cusp is shorter than the buccal cusp. Also, there is a mesial marginal ridge which is present at the junction of occlusal and the middle third, and mesial contact area is present at the middle third. You can appreciate the markings on the diagram where you can appreciate the lingual cusp with the pink color, the buccal cusp with the blue color, the mesial contact point with the purple color. Also the marking of mesial marginal ridge which are with the yellow color. Also in the surface anatomy, you can appreciate a mesial developmental groove which crosses the mesial marginal ridge, which has been demarcated by the red color. This is the developmental groove which crosses the mesial marginal ridge. Also, there is a developmental depression which is above the contact area and which continues on the root surface. This area is known as canine fossa and it has been demarcated by a pink broad band. Also, when you see the root, the bifurcation of the root is present at the middle of the root length. When you see the cuspal tips from the mesial view, the buccal cusp is in one line with the center of the buccal root, as you can appreciate the markings. However, the lingual cusp is in one line with the lingual border. So one is in the center, one is in line with the lingual border of the lingual root. So with the help of this schematic diagram, we can appreciate the buccal root, the lingual root, buccal cusp, lingual cusp, the mesial contact area, the mesial marginal developmental groove, mesial marginal ridge, the buccal cervical ridge, the cervical line, and the mesial developmental depression, which has been continuous up to the root. Now coming on to the distal aspect, distal surface differs from the mesial because it do not have any developmental groove. Therefore, it is a demarcating feature to compare right premolar from left premolar. In right, there will be developmental groove on the mesial side, which is not seen on the distal side. So you can appreciate whether it is of right side or left side. Similarly, there is no developmental depression which is seen mesially in crown or root on the distal aspect. The contact area is broader and the cervical line is less curved or straight. When we compare the bifurcation, in the mesial aspect, the bifurcation is at the middle, whereas in cases of distal aspect, it is in the apical third. So these are the distinguishing features, how you can differentiate right first premolar from right left premolar. Sorry, right first premolar from left first premolar, because there are no developmental grooves, no developmental depression, the contact points are broader, cervical line is either straight or less curved, and bifurcation is seen in the apical third. So these are the distinguishing features for comparing right from left. Now starting with the occlusal anatomy, when we see the occlusal aspect, there is a central developmental groove which is being shown with the yellow color. The distal and the mesial triangular fossas which are shown through purple color. Then the pits, that is the distal and the mesial pit, which is the deepest point in the fossa, which is being marked with the pink color. Then the marginal ridges on both the distal and the mesial side, that is distal marginal ridge and the mesial marginal ridge. So when you see the anatomy from the occlusal aspect, it is hexagonal in shape and it is bounded from all the sides by mesiobuccal cuspal slope, distobuccal cuspal slope, distal outline, mesial outline, distolingual cuspal slope, and mesolingual cuspal slope. So in this way, we can draw one hexagonal outline for the maxillary first premolar. Also, the buccal and the lingual cusp have their triangular ridges, and the mesial marginal ridge is crossed by the mesial developmental groove. And when we compare the buccolingual measurement, it is larger than the mesiodistal. To summarize the occlusal anatomy, The occlusal anatomy is hexagonal in shape and it is bounded by distobuccal and mesobuccal cuspal slopes, distolingual and mesolingual cuspal slopes, and the mesial and the distal outline. When we see the cuspal ridges, there are elevations. On the buccal side, it is the buccal cuspal ridge. On the lingual, it is the lingual cuspal ridge. And on both the side, it is the crest of the contact points, mesially and the distally. When we see the elevations and depressions on the surface of occlusal anatomy, so we have a central groove. Then we have pits on the mesial and the distal side. We have mesial triangular fossa, distal triangular fossa. Then we have distobuccal cusp ridge, mesiobuccal cusp ridge. We have distal marginal ridge, mesial marginal ridge. Also, we have distolingual cusp ridge and the mesolingual cusp ridge. So, on the surface of occlusal anatomy of maxillary first premolar, we can appreciate ridges. Then we have pits, we have fossas, and we have a central groove. This is how you can draw a well-labeled diagram for the occlusal anatomy of a premolar, in which you can appreciate the buccal ridge, then the crest of curvature on the buccal aspect. Also, you can appreciate the presence of two cusps. One is buccal, another is lingual. Then there is developmental groove, that is the central developmental groove. Also, there are two fossa, mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa. Then you can also appreciate a transverse ridge which has been formed by the triangular ridges of the buccal and the lingual cusp, and the occlusal anatomy is bounded on both the sides by the mesial marginal ridge and the distal marginal ridge. This is the summary of all the aspects. So now it's the quiz time. Please have a look and attempt the questions in the comment box. Also attempt the MCQs. Thank you.